older, it's getting darker, I'm getting older, so is everyone else. What are you supposed to do? Carry on doing nothing, having a bit of a chew. Oh, what's happening? Everything's going a bit weird. It's changed now and it's darker in the night. And hello everyone, all the no people that are here. Oh, there's one here. Hello to you. Yay. Yeah. I've been packing stuff up, like everything in my life in the last couple of weeks. So it's all. I'm feeling a bit melancholy and weird, really. I'm just like, I'm doing it quite gradually. Hello, how are you, Peter? I'm doing it gradually. I'm just sort of like doing a bit and then going, ugh. And I've like taken so many things to charity shops and dumped stuff. And I actually, I had a big pile of bras, of all things. I was like, how have I got all of these? And I thought, they're all right, but they don't really fit anymore. And then I found that somebody is taking bras to Kenya. So I carted them all the way across London. So that's an adventure, really, going to give bras to Kenya. So it's not that I was generous, it's just I was trying to get rid of them. So yeah, so hurrah to me. Hello, Philip. So I've got rid of lots of stuff, but I've still got lots of stuff. But fortunately, Man with a Van has come to the aid, so I think next week I'm probably going to go to Wales with all the stuff, because I was trying to whittle it down, because somebody said I could store them in their house until I could move it on. Buffering, oh no, until I could move them on, and it meant that I was having to throw a lot of stuff away. But now I've got a van, less stuff to be thrown away, but I don't know whether it's all going to fit in there, so let's see. Back now, good. Is it me? Is it you? Who can tell? How can you know whether it is you or me? It's the internet. We shall see. Will it keep going? I don't know. This guitar's probably out of tune. I tuned it a little bit before. There was dust everywhere. I was going to leave this behind, or just give it to chuck it in a skip, or go to cash converters. But now I think I can probably fit it in the van. I don't know how much room is in the van. How much room is a woodchuck? No. How much room is it in a van? I'm not sure how big the van is, so we shall see. But I want to get rid of it all sooner rather than later. Although somebody said that I could come and stay with them in January, so I'll probably be back to London, but with less stuff. It'll be, well, when I came to London first, I had less than 2 suitcases. I just had a big bag, and it's just grown and grown so much. It's just so much stuff. Now I have to get rid of it all. But yeah, so yeah, my dream to have a tiny house is sort of thwarted by the fact that I've got so much stuff. Like every time I'd open a cupboard or open a box, I'd go, whoa, there's more stuff. I can't remember any of this stuff. But then, even if you've got the whole thing, out of sight, out of mind, it's fine. If you don't know you've got it, you're just like, abandon it, let it go. But as soon as you see it, you go, oh, well, that comes in handy. So I had to really make some tough decisions about what I wanted to keep and what I wanted to go. Ah, yes, thank you. Thank you, Rofinkel. It is cold. It is getting cold. I was wearing my, this is something I found. It's not really my colour, this, but it's nice and warm. But I took it off because it was making me look a little bit weird. And so I took it off, and now it's cold. Very, very cold. Yes, exactly. Oh, so much stuff that's bound to be useful at some point, but also so much paperwork. I had so many contracts and loan agreements and all sorts of stuff from ages ago. I was like, I probably won't need this anymore, because was the PPE, what was it, where they oversold like insurance on particular loans, and so I think I kept it just in case. But I remember when I first came to London, I bought a Time computer, because they used to have shops all along the high street, and you go in and you do a hire purchase agreement, and you'd spend loads of money, thousands of pounds, on over the course of anyway, I ordered a Time computer because at that time you couldn't get a computer for less than about £1,000, and I was going to pay it off before it came to be paying the interest, but I didn't pay it off before the interest, and so I was actually paying that computer off long after I didn't have that computer anymore. It was a time computer, and you had to have all the leads, and they were all different colour-coded leads. But I remember getting it when I was living in Golders Green and waiting patiently, and then I found that they'd actually sent my entire computer to Ireland by mistake. So eventually it got to me, but it was all battered because they had to be redirected. They sent it to completely the wrong place. I don't know what was going on. But then it was all right, this computer. It wasn't great. I think I might have it still somewhere. I hope I don't find it, because I'm going to have to carry that as well. If it's in a box or in a cupboard that I haven't opened, I have a feeling it is, then it might have to stay there and somebody else can deal with it. Sorry, people that have to deal with it. I don't want to open the cupboard. It's like, oh no. Oh no, more stuff. Because even though it's going to go in the van, I still have to deal with it on the other side. And my parents says that my parents got rid of a lot of stuff, like the whole room worth of stuff. They got rid of so much stuff, and I'm just going to bring all my stuff and dump it in their back room and completely undo all the work. But at least it's mine, so, you know, I can deal with it on the other side. If I don't want it, then that's fine. It's just dealing with it. And I've dealt with so much of it, and yet so much more. I don't understand. It's like months and months I've been working at this, and it's still, yeah, stuff is stuff. And I'm like, this thing's, oh, I really want this thing. And it's like, this, have I ever used this? No, I should get rid of it. But I don't want to. I want my, it's like my, like a pharaoh in a pyramid. They were never in a pyramid, but in their tomb. So I feel a bit like a pharaoh in the Valley of the Kings, with all my stuff around me, all my different things, and everything is building up, and yet I am just there in a tomb with my stuff, and nobody really cares, and I'm surrounded by stuff. I don't know what to do with it. It's all there, and I just want to get rid of it, but it's there, and I really don't know what to do, but all of it is there. What am I to do? It's there, and I'm here, and all my stuff is it's too much stuff. I don't know what to do with it. Yeah, like I had a load of Lord of the Rings figures that's still in the original packets, and I was like, oh, well, I'll get rid of those. I'll give them to charity. And then it's like, they're probably not valuable. I looked them up, and they're all about £10-15 on eBay, which isn't enough, but it's not a lot. But you know, you add it up, you're 6 or 7 of them. More money. But it's like I haven't got time to deal with it here. So now I can pack them up and then sell them on eBay for like 10 quid each or something. And that gives me 60 quid. And what can I do with 60 quid? I can eat. I can go somewhere, because travel is very expensive. Travel is very expensive. This is the whole thing. When I went all the way across town to get rid of my my underwear and stuff and go to Africa, it's like, are they actually going to want it in Africa? It's like, well, you know, they're getting it. It's already there. You know, the person was actually going on Saturday, which was yesterday. So on Thursday, hey, have some of these. Oh, and they seemed happy and grateful, but it's like, you haven't seen them yet. There's a lot of them. So many. I was like, how have I got one of these? Why have I got one of these? So, do you know, they're about 50 quid. Well, I tried buying one when I was in Edinburgh. I thought, oh, I probably need a new one of those. And I was like, I went to John Lewis, which is probably not the best place. It's quite an expensive shop. But I was like, 50, 60, 70 quid for just a basic one. I'm like, oh, that's a lot. So maybe, like, 12 bras. It's quite a lot of money if I bought them new. But they don't fit me, so I couldn't, it's no point keeping them. Yeah, so I don't know. Like that, I went to Peter Buckley Hill, he was like, the bra sizes change? I go, yes, they do. They do, something you learn. They definitely do. Your weight and body fluctuates throughout your life. And although I'm probably about a stone lighter than I was recently, I'm still about 2 stone heavier than I was when I was 16 or 17, when I thought I was so fat. Ridiculous, isn't it? But I've never been skinny while I've been in my adult weight. The lowest I was 9 stone 3, and I looked like a skeleton then. And I looked very bony indeed. And yet I'm 5'6". I'm quite bony, so I'm just all bones really, because other people I know that actually fitted in bigger sizes. I was like size 10, 12 mostly, so 14 at the most, which is British size. But I know people that were like size 12 or 14, and they were about a stone and a half, 14 pounds or whatever, less than me. I was like, are you sure? Like 8.5 stone. It's like, I don't know what that is in pounds. Anyway, I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I was being on the bigger side. Even when I was smaller, I was on the big side for small. But I carry it well, I think. I think I do. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being big and there's nothing wrong with being small. It's just the way that bodies are. They're all over the place, aren't they? Come from National Geographic. Maybe she will. Oh, can I just be like, oh, look at that. National Geographic Kennedy, Kenya. And I'll be like, ooh, that's my bra. Way. One of them was a strapless. It was actually an adjustable one. You could get straps, but I don't know where the straps went, the adjustable straps. So it's a sort of so if they've got a wedding dress or something that hasn't got sleeves and they need, so it's a posh bra. I've never worn it, and like padded, it's like, wow, it's very shiny. So, you know, the trouble is, no matter how good something is, if it's no use to you, then there's no point keeping it, is there? No. So I didn't. And it's gone in an aeroplane. There's a lot of other people. I know, I've seen people on Facebook. I was like, where was it? And I couldn't remember. But fortunately, I was having coffee with somebody that said, oh, I know somebody. I know how you can. So it's fine. So that was good. We went on a whole journey, through space and time, all the way to Shepherd's Bush, the Bush of the Shepherd, where they had the Olympics in like 1911, something like that. And then I had an all-you-can-eat Chinese meal. It wasn't just Chinese, it was all sorts of things. It was like, mostly what I ate was seaweed, which is not really seaweed. And it's like the cheapest thing on the menu, really. So I filled up with this, but I haven't had that many vegetables lately. So I'm like, no. It's my favourite food, which is actually like kale or cabbage that's like stripped up to look like it's pretend seaweed. And it's quite nice. It's lovely. Your brain's big. Yeah, go brain, go. Yeah, gotta send that to Africa and they can use it to, I don't know, come up with the secret to everything. Some sort of, maybe it'll be handy. Maybe somebody else can use it, or who knows? Because I don't know. It's all over the place, isn't it? So yeah, when I've been eating my food down, I'm like, and I threw so much food away. Because I used to get those boxes, those approved food boxes, which you get past its best before date food. And some of it I was never going to eat, but I kept it anyway, just in case. And it was best before its best before date, a long time before I got it. And it's been in there a long time, so it's very, very far. I was just like, no. So I was getting it was quite like a sort of ritual. I was just flinging it out into the world. The squirrels have mostly eaten it now. There was all sorts of stuff went in the food waste bin, which they're not collecting in Finchley area yet, even though they used to. But because they have to do it before 2025, this council, I've said this before, ridiculously went, oh, well, we won't do it anymore. We'll wait until then. It's like, well, you were already doing it, so they have collected it. So for years and years, we've been putting all the food in this food bag. It's in order to try and make soil, really, because it was like, it will come in handy for the zombie apocalypse, but the squirrels have eaten a lot of it. There was like so many squirrels. I think that this is good in the world, though, because it used to be you looked at the back and there were zombie squirrels. They looked horrible. They looked like they had mange. There was foxes and squirrels that looked ill years ago. They looked really bad. I've got video of them. It's like, oh, that's not great. But ever since we've been putting things in the food waste bin, the squirrels are healthy. So in a way, even though we're feeding the squirrels and the foxes, we're making them less disease-ridden and less horrible. And so it's a better environment all around, really. So when you're feeding vermin, it's like, it's better to make healthy vermin than it is to have unhealthy vermin that are spreading disease and terror in their wake. That's what I think, anyway. Yes, they are mini zombies. They looked very rough. If you go looking for the zombie squirrels, it's like, what on earth is that? It looks like a rat. Is it a squirrel? It whirl. And now it's going up a tree. Yeah. Well, they're very. They're rounding squirrels. They're very violent to each other. You're like, oh, what is that squirrel doing to that other squirrel? Oh my gosh, that other squirrel does not want you to do that. It's a law of the wild. It's just a little bit much. Anyway, there were so many squirrels because I put so many sunflower seeds, big ones that had like they were salted ones that I'd had in the back of a cupboard for many years. They were about that big. And then they had the covers, and then the seeds are inside, and so they were a faff because you had to sort of suck the seeds out, and it's like, oh, so it's loads of those, and a big thing of brisket crumbs and all sorts of stuff. And also there's an onion that's gone in there, a bit of an onion that's grown into. It's grown. The onion is growing out of the wilderness. It's out of the dump, and I saw a squirrel trying to eat the spring shoots that were coming out. They were very livid, yes, exactly. Livid squirrels, yay. So I had a nice time looking at those, and there's a cat that comes to visit that's never come closer. There's a few cats that come in and out. There's a black cat that came to visit that's like not really into me. He's like, hello, I think it's a she cat. I can't remember, but Bubble and Squeak, I think they're called. There's two. We thought that the same cat was visiting, but then one came one side and one came the other side of the house. There's a back door and a front door, and we're like, oh, yeah, because for a long time thought that there was only one and the other one had disappeared. There's two different cats. Anyway, there's another cat though that doesn't come anywhere close, and it's white, that's got little patches of tortoiseshell on it. It's like a sort of chimera cat, and it sort of looks at me suspiciously, and if I open the door it goes and runs off. But it was looking at the squirrels. He was very interested in the squirrels, and it was looking at me too, so it's noticed me, but it's not running. But if I open the door it would run very far. I've never got, but I don't know what it was, because I don't know what it is, because cats used to like me and I used to like cats, but there's just something's changed, because cats just look at me and go, nah. And they won't let me stroke them away ever. They're just like, go away. I'm not interested in you. You're not my type of person. I don't know what it is. Sad, really. But there you go. I don't know, cats and dogs, they're all very well, but I don't think, somebody once asked me, are you a cat or a dog person? It's like, no. I used to be. I don't know what's happened. I just got curmudgeonly, that's what it is. That's what happened. I've just got worse and worse as I've gotten. Everything's repelled by me. I used to be like Snow White with all the animals coming and la 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 la, and they'd come and land on my head and be nice, and I'd be like, oh, animals of the forest, I love you so, and they'd come and they don't do that anymore. I think I'm just like, I'm just like the witch in the forest now. Yeah. Oh, talking of which, Halloween next week. Halloween. La 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 la. I haven't planned anything for Halloween. I'm going to try and see people that I haven't seen for a long time, because I'm not going to be back till January at the earliest, so I should see them just in case. And to be honest, I'm not sure that's going to work out, but I hopefully will be back. And there's other things, like, did I tell you last week about the reality TV thing, reality TV thing? Well, that moved on slightly. Then I had to send them a video, and because it had to be very short, I made a really good one, I thought, but it wouldn't upload because it was too long. So I was like, so I made another one, which was frankly terrible. It's like, I'll never hear from them again. So that's fine, because that's dealt with now. I don't have to worry about that, because it's not going to happen. But I've been looking about other people's careers and how they've got on. I need to write something that makes me rich and famous and I can star in it. It's like, what can I do with that? I don't know, really. Oh yes, Happy Callan Gaif. Yes, it is. It's Halloween, but yes, Callan Gaif. It is the autumn festival. Autumn. Yes, the equivalent. It's like the married lord is a sort of New Year tradition, but it looks like it should be Halloween because it's a great big horse's skull on a stick and it's got like ribbons on the skull, and you go around people's houses and you scare them. Now you'd think that would be Halloween, you'd think this would be this time of the year, but it's not. It is New Year, which is weird really, but I recommend going to look that up because it's terrifying, and it is definitely Halloween-y in a way, yes. But the old ancient festivals, the ancient festivals. Whoa. I was looking up ancient. I'm not talking about ancient festivals now. I'm going to talk about the land. Somebody posted something about Gondwana land, and it was a huge, super mega continent that was everything all together. I remember when I was working at the museum that there was something about the coal fields had sort of collided with the rest of England, but I was looking it up, and there was Avalonia apparently, which is a part of Gondwana land that's flipped. It's like well, part of London is, I'm going to say Livonia. It's not that part of London. Part of Wales is from one part of the supercontinent, and then the rest of it and most of England is from another. But I think the part of Wales I'm from is where it sort of collided. So it's two different. So it's like the mountainous area. It's from two different parts of the world, but the coal fields are the same part that goes all the way through Canada and down through Pennsylvania and down, and apparently as far as not California, Colorado, no. What's the other one? What's the other state beginning with C? Anyway, one of those. So it's sort of all related. It's all joined up, and it goes down, and then I think there's might a bit of it even further across. So it's interesting that the land under us feet, the land under our feet is not necessarily from where it started. Like most of Europe is from one bit of this Gondwana land, and then Britain is from another, and then Scotland and a bit of Ireland is from another one entirely again. So this is before people were there anyway, so it doesn't really make much difference. But in terms of the land, like people are all very well like, oh, this is where I come from, this is where anciently and millions of years ago, it was from somewhere else entirely, it's from somewhere else completely, yes. Evening, Terry. Yes, so it's all over the place, it's just from all over the place, and yeah, Appalachia, which I thought was Appalachia, but it's apparently Appalachia. The Appalachian Mountains, very ancient, and there's all sorts of mystical stories about creatures that live in the forest and all sorts of terrible, weird things. So really, because it's the same land as the part of Wales that I'm from, all the mystical, weird creatures are actually from my part of the world as well. Aha! Not that I would have been there millions of years ago, because I wasn't, I'm not that old, but or anybody really, because nobody was even alive. The Denisovians and the Neanderthals were probably there before us, but they all came together literally and figuratively with the Homo sapiens, and they all came together in a little rowing boat, and created new people. We've all got little bits of other people, and I think there's a few other ancient DNA samples that they found with people even in the heart of Africa, where the cradle of civilization is. It's like, oh, somebody else, some even other different species that we didn't even realize was there. So we've all got other people in us, in a way. So that's interesting. So where was I going with that? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going back to the Appalachian Mountains, even though they're not the Appalachian, anyway, Avalonia, that's where it is. They are actually, because I'm a mountain person. The mountains, they're all us mountain people. We're all from the same part of the supercontinent. But not, and a bit of Holland is from there as well. So a little sliver of Holland sort of just slips in. So it just went whoosh, collided, and went under the ground. A dog of land that's not even there anymore. Doggerland was above the ocean, and then there was a big some sort of eruption in Norway or something in about 8,000 years ago, and it sunk under the sea, under the sea, under the sea, and it's gone, not there anymore. Drowning. Exactly, whatever. So, I don't know. Some terrible things have happened lately. And everyone's like, oh, we should talk about that. I'm like, let's not. Our Dogland is gone. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. So, yeah. People. I'm just, what's that? Oh, it looks like a doll's hand. What's that? It's a little thing. I don't think it is a doll's hand. It's part of something else. Like a dowel. It's like a like those little wooden dolls. Did you ever have those? Like the flat backs of their heads, and just, you know, and it had like dolls of the world. My uncle used to have a big cabinet full of dolls of the world. I think I've only got 2 dolls. I think I've got a Spanish lady doll and a Dutch doll, which is wooden and has a little blue frilly dress on it and blonde hair. That's what that looks like. Like, it's a weird, scary little dolls. And I used to be fascinated by these dolls of the world. They were from all over the place, but they were a little bit scary. Really, it's like, why are you collecting those? Everywhere you go, you bring another homunculus, a terrifying haunted doll from around the world. Yeah, doll. I think it was a common thing that people used to have. I don't think you have them so much later. I haven't seen any dolls of the world for quite a while, but it used to be a thing that everybody had. Like, you go somewhere and you get a traditional doll from that part of the world and dressed in the traditional dress. And I think I might have a Welsh doll somewhere that's a bit. I remember seeing one. It's very fragile plastic, and it's got a lot of glue on it, and it's got sort of tartan for some reason, like a tartan shawl. Different parts of the world, yes, they did look equally possessed, and to be honest, they probably weren't from the parts of the world that they were purporting to be. You could get them there, but probably most of them were made in Taiwan. All of them, in fact. Because Taiwan used to make a lot of things. I don't know, you don't see so much stuff that's made in Taiwan. I think somewhere else must be making them. It's like, why did Taiwan make so much stuff? Why doesn't it now? Oh, geopolitical things probably. Let's not dwell on that. Anyway, they did make a lot of stuff. All the dolls of the world, all the terrifying dolls, and now people don't collect those. What do people collect? My other gran, she's not my other gran, because my uncle wasn't my gran. Anyway, one of my grans, yes, they probably were watching me sleep. My gran collected spoons of the world, and she left them to my cousin, either Adam or Nathan. I had twin cousins, Adam or Nathan, and they weren't identical twins, but they may as well have been, because I can't remember which one got left it. And remember, one of them got left these spoons because they'd said they'd been interested in them, all gone, oh, look at those spoons or something one time. And so they were saddled with looking after these spoons, and they were like, why did Gran leave me these spoons? It's like, because you said once that you liked them. Okay. But yeah, the dolls all plot. So the spoons don't plot though. There's apostle spoons. That's it. Plots. Yeah. Oh, I see Ollie watches you sleep. I get that scene too. Yes. He got like a doll-like grin on his face. It's like, ah! No! Yeah. So spoons. There are spoons. A lot of people collect spoons. They were not made of gold. They were not made of silver. They were just made of something like, I don't think they were made of lead. That would have been pretty bad, isn't it? Lead spoons. I think they were just made of, yeah, anyway, spoons of the world, and also little spoons that had little apostles on them, like Matthew, Mark, and Luke and John. Went to bed with the trousers on. Is that what it was? I can't remember. I can't remember the rest of that rhyme. Is that a thing? Have I just made that up? It's just like, we had a Christmas tradition as well. We'd go around my grand's house, every time. I had more than one grandmother, but this grandmother was very big on Christmas. She had 9 children, and a lot of those children had children. So it was like a lot of those children would maybe go one year to a different area. Well, I mean, they had other grandmothers that weren't my grandmothers, so they might go there and then come back. But or they'd spend a different day and then they'd come to my grandmother. So we'd have a big family get together on Christmas night. And I was like, oh, do we have to do that? I'm going to watch the Christmas TV. So we'd all have to like record all the different channels of Christmas TV. And it was when you couldn't really record more than one. So one of the family members would record a different side. So we'd get all of the Christmas TV. But you don't really get Christmas TV that's worth any watching anymore. It's just not worth watching. So you wouldn't have to do that anymore. But we used to go around my grand's house. And it's like, do we have to? But I sort of miss it now. Really, now that you don't do it, like, you can't, because she's no longer with us, and and it's like, oh, that was a nice tradition. But one of the things that was a bit weird, that all the little children, when I was a little child, we were made to dance around the Christmas tree, and we'd have to sing Sally go round the moon, Sally go round the sun, Sally go round a chimney pot on a Sunday afternoon, something like that. Sally go round the sun, Sally go round the moon, Sally go round a chimney pot on a Sunday afternoon. Oi! It's like, what? This is a Christmas tradition, and I don't know anyone else that's got this Christmas tradition. I was like, I've never even heard this song, and then we looked it up, and it's apparently a song from Saint Helena, where Napoleon was meant to. They sent him. It's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, very far off the African coast, sort of in between Brazil and I'm not sure where it is on the coast. Anyway, it's there somewhere. It's sort of near Tristan da Cunha, but not very. It's not a very Christmas tree tradition, but it's just weird. It's like, why are we doing this? Anyway, we couldn't get our presents until we danced around the Christmas tree in this weird, semi-pagan way. It's like, why are we dancing around this Christmas tree, singing this weird song that nobody else has got this family tradition for? It's a bit strange. It is peculiar. And I was like, is my family in some sort of cult or something? Or is it some sort of weird, folky, pagan tradition? Or are we from St. Helena? Why? It was like the Welsh Wicker Man. Now, I don't know where that came from. My grandmother's, her family came from Somerset, Devon sort of area. So maybe it's a sort of weird West Country tradition, really. Who even knows? Something weird going on. Something wicked this way comes. Sally go round the sun, Sally go round the moon, Sally go round the chimney pot on a Sunday afternoon. Oi! What? That's freaky. It was exactly like the Welsh Wicker Man around the Christmas tree. And she had a big, enormous, silver, I think, artificial Christmas tree. So it was the same Christmas tree. It wasn't like one that you'd taken in from the winter. It wasn't like a real Christmas tree. In fact, didn't have a Christmas tree until I was like, we had Christmas trees. They were all artificial until I was about 12 or 13, and me and my brother were like, can we have a real Christmas tree in our house? But my gran still had the artificial Christmas tree. But and it was big though. It was a very big one. I do remember that. But we had real Christmas trees sometimes in my parents' house, but they are very bad because the pine needles stick in your feet. They all fall off. So probably not a great idea anyway. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. Why are you a Christmas tree? Anyway, so I should probably get back. I've packed most of my stuff away. so much of it. Now I've got sort of like bits. I'm like, I just shove that in a bag. That's what my mum said. If you got any bin bags, it's like, yeah. I just stuff things in bin bags. Pine needles. They're gonna stick in your feet, and then they'll work their way out. Come Easter time, and you'll be like, oh, a pine needle. And then your foot will fall off. Anyway, I will leave you go now to think about the Halloween traditions of Christmas. The Sally go round the sun and the weird spooky dolls and all these things that are gonna terrify you in the night. You're just gonna look up and you'll see a spoon coming at you. Yeah. So yeah, Nostar. Noswaitha. Good night, good evening, and welcome. See you soon. And I will probably be here next week. And then, what's gonna happen? of doing National Novel Writing Month, but then I realised that November is on Thursday, which is quite soon, and I'm like, oh, I haven't got plans. Anyway, see you soon. See you soon. See you very soon. See you next week. See ya. Bye bye.